Would you like some shitty players to podcast about a game they're not good at?
What's up, DigiDestin? Thank you for listening to the Security Check Digimon TCG podcast. Make sure to join the Cataclysmic Cardboard Discord server via the link in the description. And now, let's jump into the digital world. Yeah, so before we get started, last week's episode with CK was great. And if anybody else would like to be on the podcast, you guys can go to cataclysmicgamers.com and scroll down to the bottom, and there is a submit your deck link, and you can check the box that you would like to be interviewed on the podcast, and we'll get back with you. So if you're interested, go submit a janky deck list, and we'll try to get you on.
Pretty darn cool, if you ask me. We're growing slowly but surely. That's what I was on the guys earlier today in the Discord. I think we've created a very, very cool group of dudes, guys and gals, playing Digimon. We've grown a lot.
No, I mean, not just Digimon anymore either. Cataclysmic Cardboard is all kinds of card games. We got Lorcana, Magic, Pokemon, One Piece.
Digi guys got me looking into the new Star Wars game. Seems pretty neat.
One of my buddies actually just went to a tournament and played. Went 3-1. I think's what he said.
Very easy to learn. I think that's one of the coolest things about it is it basically, when I was talking to DigiGuide, felt like if you put Battlefront into a card game. So it's pretty cool. Remember how Battlefront, you had space battles and then you had ground battles and you could pick your, go back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of how the playing field's set up. Pretty neat. Pretty neat.
But anyway, this is a Digimon podcast, so let's talk about some Digimon.
This is a Digimon podcast. The digital monsters. Actually, a lot of cool things to talk about, really.
Yeah, so I didn't go to locals this past weekend. I haven't been to locals in a while, but not this past weekend, but the weekend before that was the Green Cup.
Yeah, the Double Typhoon Cup.
Okay.
It wasn't the Spring Break Cup. Spring Break Cup something different, but yeah, Double Typhoon. Where we just played a green only format. I won.
You won? What did you win?
A cool little Terriermon promo card that says Double Typhoon. It's got an itty bitty crown on it. Kind of like it. I said it when we was there. I like it better than the big winner stamp or the massive pre-release stamp. It's just Double Typhoon, and it's got just a little golden crown on it. It's very subtle. I like it.
I do think the little crown was a nice touch. Rather than stamping winner somewhere on the card.
Yeah. I mean, winner's cool. Lets everybody know, but just like I said, it not just blaring at you. To me, if it's going, I would rather have a gold card or like the alt art cards that are coming up in the spring break event, or some of you all may have already done your spring break event. So, yeah, I played the Double Typhoon deck, and it was definitely a heavy package of Willis, Armors, and Gargo. That was pretty much the strategy. I played Bloom, and then I played Terriermon, and I was the only undefeated. So we voted on whether to end the tournament or not, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll take this W. I'll take this W.
Of course you'll take it.
Yeah. It's a very fun deck. I mean, I played three matches that, 3 rounds of my first match and then 2 rounds of my second match.
The bunnies definitely have some power with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to test that my tyrannical bunnies a little bit with Jordan, and they can definitely pack a punch.
Yeah, Gargo Ace is really cool. I really like what it does. I think it's a phenomenal card. Don't think it's overpowered. I think too many people played it in a green only setting. I do think the deck gets stronger in a not only green format because you can add yellow. You can do the yellow vaccine with it, with the armors. Lots of avenues for the deck to go. But Lopemon was actually my favorite card. And I used to, and a lot of people think it's underrated. I think it's just a really, probably out of the starter deck, the best overall green card for real. Because you can throw it in anything, and just being able to smack it down and give something alliance is really powerful for any green deck, period.
Oh yeah, given a Terriermon alliance.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't affect you a lot. You can just add one or two. I mean, just seeing one will change the game. Drop it for 3. You know, if it's your turn, which it could be, it probably is. You literally just, give your Tyrannomon alliance, suspend the little bunny. Because with Tyrannomon, like I told you, you don't have to worry about his DP. His DP is probably massive anyway. But you're getting an extra sec +1, and you probably got, all the inheritables with piercing, and it's just nice. It's just good to get. It's a good way to get another body on the field, and maybe if you can't end out and they can't get rid of him, it could be game next turn. You could literally just swing with Lopemon or something,
Yep.
Doesn't Tyranno unsuspend himself?
Yep. The green and black one, and then the old green one does.
Okay.
But
So
Ace doesn't.
you get alliance, you swing into something, you delete it, you unsuspend, you get 2 checks, then you swing again for 2 more checks. You also trash a security because of inheritables for
Yes.
deleting something in battle. So, little bunny turns your 1 check plus trash security, or 2 checks plus trash security, into 4 checks plus trash security.
It's
And it swings again.
big deal. It's a good card. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's as powerful as Gargamon. Gargamon Ace is a very solid card. It suspends 2 things. Or it unsuspends. It can suspend. It's a really great card. The best card. I just think Lopemon is the overall neatest card out of that to just splash into. Because Tyrannomon doesn't really need Gargamon Ace. Bloomlord doesn't need a Gargamon Ace. Terriermon doesn't need Gargamon Ace. To me, it's just cluttering up what you do. It's hurting your searchers. It's hurting your searches. So a lot of green doesn't need Gargamon Ace.
I think the key point for Gargamon Ace being busted is it's the first ace that jumps from jump from a level 4 to a level 6.
Yeah.
Right now we're dealing with a lot of level 5 aces and a couple level 6s, but being able to go from 4 straight up to 6, kind of crazy.
And a lot of people aren't running Willis. I will stand on this. In that deck, it works too well. If you can get your Terriermon that plays a Tamer or a Lopemon for reduced cost of 2, you're playing Willis for 1. Does feel bad if you can't hatch and raising. Feels great when you do. But, if you get 2 Willises out, tap to reduce the cost, that's what makes Gargamon feel bad for the opponent, feel great for you. Is reducing that cost, hatching something and raising. If it was your turn, if you've got 2 Willises out, which happened literally 3 of my matches, had 2 Willises out, promoted Terriermon, was able to play something at the start of my main phase, drop a Willis for reduced cost of 2, maintain my turn, hatch something, Digivolve in the back, and then play Rapidmon, the new one, and give minus 4,000 DP to something and minus 4,000 DP to all Security Digimon, and then going into Gargo Ace was just so oppressive. All for around 2. You did all that with like 2 to 3 memory. It was really nice.
Yeah, sounds like some fire.
Mm-hmm. It just gets better, and there's just more ways to build the deck. I mean, we're probably going to see tons of variations of it with, we get Rapidmon X, so there's going to be probably, there was done Yellow Vaccine where you use your Patamons, and it was pseudo Armor Rush, and then when we get Rapid X, it just becomes Armor Rush. And you could build a Yellow Vaccine. You can build it with the Terriermons. People just need to open up their minds. I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest deck out there. I just think that the deck can be really strong. Just play test it. Take it to locals. Test it out. Play some hands.
Give it a shot because it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that. I think any new player, I think you should buy the Beelzemon starter deck. If you can find it, the advanced starter deck, I think you should go ahead and buy it. Beelzemon's still good. The advanced decks are something you should definitely buy as a new player. I feel like the Double Typhoon for sure is the most friendly, because Beelzemon does have everybody. Some people say it's brain dead. I don't agree with that. You can over discard, deck yourself out, especially if you leave the deck as is, or literally do the $15 worth of modifications to get all the Impmons and everything. So Double Typhoon, I think, is a good start and very starter friendly decks. Need 2 at least. Are you coming to the Spring Break Cup? That our Spring Break Cup is the 17th. Are you coming, Drew?
Probably not.
Weak.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Got that work, man. Changed my schedule.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Definitely going. I'm gonna try to retain my title.
I had the joy of playing Bloomlordmon for the first time. It was an experience. I got 1 win and 1 tie. I was pretty pleased with how the deck played, though. I can see why people like it so much. When it combos out, that deck is crazy.
I loved when I was playing VCR and you looked over and you're like, I didn't have nothing. Now look at this board.
Yeah, it's literally a 1-turn difference. I went from having, I think I had a level 3 on board, and then out of that level 3, I ended up having a level 6 and like 2 level 4s and another level 3.
Just the sheer excitement tickled me. Look at this board.
I spit
Yeah.
all this out in 1 turn.
Mm-hmm.
Hell,
Benefits of the deck.
definitely made me see why people like the deck so much, because it really does pop off hard whenever it pops off. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I was able to do that with never having played the deck before, so that should tell you somebody who actually knew what they're doing probably could have doubled that board.
That felt another bad matchup for Bloomlord is me running the 8 Rapidmons really hurts that deck. The minusing 4,000 DP and stuff, it gets everything into my range. Hurts your security because Quartz and Bloomlord are the only thing. And if you're minusing it by, 4,000, if you suspend it and you've got at least one Terriermon underneath it, you're going to be at 8K swinging in. Brings almost everything into your range for that deck, especially all the little bodies. I want everybody to take that away from the Green Cup. I think that anytime, just like Beelzemon, when an advanced deck comes out, this is the epitome of that deck. This is bringing everything, they've put a lot of time, effort. It's meant to make that deck good. $30 to $35. It should be good. It should be able to pull it out of the box and play. It's just like Pokemon's level 3 starter decks. You're meant to be able to take those decks. They're not at full power, but you can buy that, put it and do decent or well.
But yeah, they definitely are. The advanced starter decks or the advanced decks are definitely the go-to for a new player, I feel like.
For sure.
And eventually they'll hit all the colors. I saw that I don't think they're advanced decks though, that they were coming out with 2 decks for the Liberator web series.
Yellow and green, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty excited for that.
I'm done pumped because when I'm into a thing, when the hyperfixation kicks in, I love to absorb media in all forms. Show, video games, web novels, web comics. So I am excited for Digimon Liberator. Also, the artwork was great. Seeing that first taste of it, the 0 episode of it, you can check it out online. And it done looks neat. I done think it's cool. It's setting up
Setting up Galacticmon to
for something. And I do think a lot of people, and this is what when he was beating War Greymon and you seen his stack and everybody was like, that's starter deck 1 War Greymon and everything. That did feel a little Yu-Gi-Oh-esque to me, because the way they play it in the show isn't always how you really play it, in person.
Right.
So you're going to get that in the web novel, I think. I don't want to sit and watch someone play cards. I think they're doing it in a very nice fashion to me to set up the tone. That this guy's that good. That Galactimon is the big bad. Or big good. Whatever that character ends up being. Whatever he ends up doing as a person in that series. We mentioned it, what do you guys think about the evolutions for both the I guess would they be protags or main character? We'll say main characters. How do you guys feel about it?
I'm hyped. We got the Red Riding Hood with a Molotov cocktail. That says enough right there.
I agree.
That's all you need in life. But you also got a new Vortex Warrior. Terriermon's final form.
Mm-hmm.
Made some references to Witchenly. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a lot of neat stuff. Plus his Digitama is Fluffymon. And it's just a fluffy little bird. It's so cute. It's so cute.
And
But I was getting Wing Gundam vibes off of what is it? His ultimate? Mega.
Zephagamon.
Yeah. Maybe mainly just the wing. But
Now, one thing I did like about the Syndrilmon, you got all those little mice with her. So that's gonna be interesting.
mm-hmm. Now her evolution goes from real out there, yeah, and then Syndromon. I'm assuming it's a play on Cinderella, which is super cool. Mega Puppet, Matrimonial Strike, Noble Family Arts, and Prisma Date Break special moves. Seems pretty cool. I'm pumped. I think it's gonna be neat.
Connie, what do you think about the new medieval gallant partner?
I hope they explore Witchelney a little more. Give us a Witchelney based story with these new characters, and give Medieval Gallantmon some spotlight.
That would be pretty dope to have some Witchelney crossover in Liberator.
Well, I mean, it is that digital world, and it feels the name of it and everything.
I mean, for Witchelney, the Shushumon and Syndromon all kind of go into that vibe too, so
Yeah.
Could be.
And then it's weird because we have Owen, and there's not, if you check out the website, there's not a card but for him yet. But there is a card placement with a question mark. So we're probably going to see an Owen Dreadnought. And is this going to be a new Greymon Tamer? Or, I mean...
Well, there was a photo, the photo that I linked in chat that somebody had posted that has a little red Digimon and it's kind of faded and he's got some red and green going on. So I'm wondering.
It looks really cute too.
Yeah. I don't know. Those color vibes kind of throwing me into Terriermon territory.
I think it's cuter. I think it almost looks like... What if it's like an alligator? What if it's Leviathan? Well, no, we already know his stuff. We already know his stuff. And then Zenith, of course. We assume he's using Galactimon, but...
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of Vimon. And then we got an Impmon that's actually going to be turned into Billstar.
Yeah, with Yuki. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but someone was saying that's going to be... She's not going to be part of the webcomic as so much as they're doing her own thing with her.
Yep. She's going to have her own side story.
Yeah, so... Like I said, I just get excited about I love stories, like anything, like League of Legends, any video game that has other ways. If you love something, you want to absorb it. Well, I do. I won't judge you all if you don't. But, I mean, I like to absorb it in multimedia forms.
I just saw that on that page they've got their Shoto is deck type bird beatdown. And
Sounds awesome.
Arissa is puppet aggro.
I would like for him to venture out into other stuff. It's going to be cool. And of course, I'm glad that they went. It's kind of nice. The pro tag Shoto is 19, almost 20. Arissa is 17, and then of course, Owen and Zenith. I don't know what roles they'll play, but they're older. They're 23. They're 20 plus years old. So pretty
put
cool.
Them in their 30s.
Well, I mean, technically, I feel like in Japanese culture that probably is pretty old. Like even in the old Digimon movies, when Matt and my mind went blank. Matt and Ty, when they grew up, they were done getting jobs and they were only like 20-ish. They were done going out into the real world and doing their thing. So
definitely a lot of fun stuff to come from that. There was a lot of news that dropped from what was it, Digimon Con?
wasn't a DigiFest? It was DigiFest, wasn't it?
Yeah, DigiFest.
Well, I was trying to find the posts, and they were everywhere, of course. And now I can't find any of them. But we had the card releases for which is already sold out. They made the announcement for the Digivice color or whatever it was. It's already sold out. It dropped like yesterday on Premium Bandai, and it's already gone, $120. But it's really cool. It's a Digivice that's all What are they actually
Definitely.
called, guys? What are they called? That everybody plays.
The
The-
V-Pets?
V-Pets. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, the V-Pet. And they already had to pull it down. It's out of stock. So, which hopefully they'll get it back in stock. But you do get a really cool alt art card with it. And I think Bandai is learning that does help sell products because collectors love that card. Even if you just collect, just having it's really cool. And if you play, it's really cool. They released that. We got the Greymons, which people don't seem to be happy about, of course, because it's Greymon.
More Greymon. What is this,
Hey,
Owen?
hey, man, Owen's switching sides. He's like, nope. What was the new alt art cards? Cards released or revealed at DigiFest.
I know we're getting a new Mamie Terriermon.
What'd you say to me? Don't curse
Yeah,
me like that.
buddy. He's that cute little ball right under Terriermon's. I'm not sure how I feel about the art for it, but it's still a good card.
Well, don't worry. If they like it, we'll get. I think that's one thing that is just I've rambled about it the whole time we've done a pod. Is Bandai with Digimon and Dragon Ball Super did phenomenal on their artwork. One Piece and Dragon Ball Fusion do seem to be going a little bit different route. The artwork is not terrible. It's just the majority of the artwork is just they take it from something, which One Piece is changing that direction quite a bit. And Fusion World will probably follow. But Bandai doesn't make ugly cards. I'm just here to say that. They just don't. I may not enjoy the artwork on something as much as something else, but I don't think they make ugly alts at all.
Oh, you know what?
Yes, no. Yes, no. You agree? You agree with me?
Yeah, there's a couple of alts that I'm like, but that's personal opinion.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. There's some I'm just like for instance, I like Magnamon X Anybody's regular card over his alt. I know, hot take, but actually I don't know if it's that hot of a take.
The fact that this is even a debate, though, kind of proves the point that there are some alt arts that people are going to look at and they're going to be like, well, I like the regular art better.
Yeah. Magnamon
And you
just
know
seems
what?
to be one of them for me.
If you like the regular art and it's not shiny enough, you know what you can do. Tell them, Mikey.
Hey, you don't have to break your bank fighting with TCG hype. You can go to www.prismaticdefender.com to not break the bank, to bling out your jank. You can buy cool shattered foiled innards or starfoil innards, prismatic innards. So you can buy inner sleeves. If you want to double sleeve it, you can buy normal holographic sleeves, matte sleeves, and you can double bling it. You can go inners and starfoil outers, and you could just put the galaxy on your card. So don't break the bank. To bling out that jank, check out www.prismaticdefender.com and use SecCheck15 at discount. All orders within the U.S. over $50 get free shipping.
Oh, you know what else we didn't talk about? Because we dropped the CK episode the week of Worlds, so we didn't talk about Worlds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't talk about Worlds.
And the fact that SecCon won.
I did watch East's video when he got back on that. Shout out to East. You don't know who I am, but I love your content. Yeah, he was there and he went over it. And it was a very good match. Everybody was watching it. I think it's died down. There was some controversy over it on slow play and things like that. But do you guys want to get into that and our opinions on that or no?
I didn't watch the actual video, so I don't really have an opinion of it other than SecCon doing SecCon things.
Well, I think when me and Jordan discussed it in the group, it was mainly, a lot of people are wanting timers and Leviathan having a lot more effects to go off. And SecCon does SecCon things. It's not very quick, Like, I mean, you play a level 5, you pass turn. Well, you play a level 5, you recover, or you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't a lot to it because it's you react to your opponent and you're very defensive or you're controlling, So there's that. And I don't know how I feel about punishing someone because I still think that's going to be in the SecCon's favor or just the deck that doesn't have as many effects. Like War Greymon, I think it's a deck. Tiny can probably vouch for this. That's you don't do a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just we trash the security or we do this, and then we swing or don't swing. I gain +3 security, and I have 3,000 in extra DP. I swing or don't. Some decks, and as we keep going, and I think that was why in Double Typhoon my match went so fast against Bloom is because VCR knew what he was doing. And the only reason he ever went slower was because he hadn't played my deck, so he didn't know the matchup. Whereas me, being a mainly red, player, I have red mind. I'm like, well, if this don't work, oh well, let's just go. But the second match, and Tiny can vouch for this, is with playing Terriermon and my deck. There was a lot of effects, a lot that seem to be going on and off. So, it's like we got on that whole, well, you're the attacking player, so you must do all yours. Okay, you're done. No more effects. Now it goes to me. And, the blocker timing. It was really hard because that was when we had to follow that flow chart and go step by step because, if you're going to blast ace, and I couldn't tell him I was going to blast ace. You know what I mean? It's almost like in a game of chess or checkers, once your hand's gone, once you're done doing all your stuff, sadly, even though you spit all that out and told me all your stuff, I'm going to blast ace. And there was times he's like, if you're going to blast ace, I'm not going to go over it. And I'm like, well, technically you still need to, because if there's something that trashes or deletes, this is still part of the game that we need to go over because if it gives you DP or minus me DP and vice versa, that's going to be important.
Yeah, you still got to follow through with all that when attacking before the counter timing hits.
So that was my argument in how do you do that? Because maybe clock, I know, like I said, a lot of people want a chess timer type deal. That might help in the sense of you do all your stuff. and now it's my turn. I hit my timer. Now I'm gonna blast out. Your time has stopped. Because think about it, me interacting on his turn technically slows him down. However, Pokemon has been doing it for years. They don't have, it's just a known, hey, if your person's taking, over 30 to 40 seconds and they're not doing anything, they're just sitting there shuffling their cards, call a judge. If this isn't the finals, you shouldn't be thinking that hard. Personally, me saying.
Yeah, just pay your cards. Slap them down.
Now wait a minute. Now you be careful there. You're a thinker. You overthink.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
You overthink sometimes when you should just go.
I'm guilty of that a lot too.
I'm trying to think 4 turns ahead.
Which isn't bad. It's really not bad because sometimes me just going for things is what screws me out of the game if I would play more defensively and stuff. That's why, and you not getting to play as much hurts that a lot because you see a lot of decks you've never seen, and unless you're just every day just sitting here scouring the internet,
That's true. Unless you study the cards and study the decks that are prominent right now, if you don't get to play a lot, then you're just not going to know. Which is going to make your play slower, especially when you're in a matchup against a deck that you've never seen before.
I've been trying to at least play audio of people playing so I can figure out what decks are doing, at least.
Yeah. Very useful. Very good. Just have it playing in the background. I do that a lot at work. I'll set my phone down somewhere in the back room as I'm, organizing and everything, and I'll just listen.
And then somebody makes a big play and you're like, hold on, he did what now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have to go back and watch. Then I have to stop what I'm doing and actually watch.
Double tap it like 4 times, go back and
Yeah.
watch the play.
Yeah. Or what sucks is I'll be like really far away from my phone and I'm like, oh no, I don't have time. I don't have time to go back and do that. But yeah, I think Worlds was cool. There was a lot of different decks. Also, still in this point from East, it was because that's where I got my information from. It was really neat that we had someone from USA, the UK, Japan, and I think was it Germany? Or no, it was Australia. Yeah, it was Australia. Australia, USA, Japan, and the UK. So that was really cool. Very cool. Or Europe. Say Europe, not Europe. Very neat.
Yeah, I went and looked to see how the meta's doing on Eggman after BT15 and then after Apocalypse got hit. And there's only one tournament posted, but the diversity is definitely still there. There's 10 different archetypes in the top 16.
Yeah. Like you said, there's only been one event, so
yeah, it's gonna take some time to kind of narrow down, but hopefully it stays like that. I prefer the diversity. It's not rock paper scissors. It's you got your
rock paper scissors dynamite Spock lizard.
I was gonna say lizard Spock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. You want the diversity. You want every color to have representation, and you want people to be able to play the cards they want to play.
Well, and I think that allows for decks such as Gallantmon, or I'm not saying they're going to win regionals or anything. I'm just saying that gives them a chance to come out because in a very diverse meta.
If Tiny takes Gallantmon to the regional, Gallantmon will win that regional.
Hold on there. That's a bold claim.
Sadly, Tiny's been on a slump. We're casting that out right now. We're just getting rid of that bad mojo. Tiny's coming back. He's going to be on top. Casting it out right now. No more building brick houses for Tiny.
I don't consider myself to have been in a slump. We just have had more people there lately than usual, and some of them come from very far.
Okay, the reason I said slump is because, guys, Tiny had won the vast majority of our locals. So
I was sad that I didn't get to have my rematch with Mega Sweaty from where I won the previous case tournament. Whenever this most recent case tournament came around, and he managed to get the win, I didn't even make it to top 8, so we didn't get to play together. Which was a shame. Honestly,
yeah,
that's the only part of this everything that's happened in the last few weeks that I feel bad about, is that I didn't get to give him his run back that he wanted.
yeah,
No, but this past weekend, I know you guys weren't there for it, but one of our locals, her brother flew in from out of state, and apparently they both play together online using Drazel and everything. And so whenever he found out that there was a local scene here, he wanted to show up and play. And he played Numamon. He played the poop deck, and he managed to win. And I don't really have a ton of experience with the poop deck, so whenever he played and he knew the matchup inside and out. I was playing Beelzemon at the time, to be clear. But he understood the matchup, and Beelzemon doesn't really have a way to answer. Either you beat them before you deck out, or you just deck out, because the poop deck has ways to stall, and there's no way that you're ever going to keep the board clear forever, because if you kill something, it just replaces itself. So it's very difficult for Beelzemon to get a win against the poop deck, because they just stall you out until you deck yourself out while you're trying to get a win. Because they can do stuff like sec -1, and Beelzemon really only has a couple of ways around that.
yeah.
And you're generally only going to get to that point once and maybe twice in a game before your deck is empty.
Yeah.
And you just
Venusmon really hurts. Well, like you said, any sec minus really hurts Beelzemon for sure.
yeah. And the other thing is that he can, even if you get a stack up there, if he doesn't security minus it, then he's got ways to remove it elsewise. He can de-digivolve it. He can minus DP it. He can turn it into poop and then minus DP it so that it's completely gone.
That's Platinum Numamon. That whole deck seems fun. Like with
The thing that I realized, and it's different for other decks, I'm sure, but playing Beelzemon specifically, the thing I realized about that matchup is that there's nothing you can do to stop his game plan. If you clear his board, it
you're
plays into
helping
his
it.
game. It plays into his game plan because you put stuff in trash and also let him play even more stuff by deleting his stuff. And if you don't clear his board, then eventually he just clears your security because he has an endless supply of bodies. Every time one dies, he gets another one. So there's nothing you can do to stop him, and you can slow him down a little bit if you have the floodgate that stops memory gain outside of tamer effects. I think it's a Gazi. I want to say it's a Gazimon. But if you have that, then you could. I didn't in my Beelzemon deck, but if you had that, then you could slow him down a little bit. Or if you had a way to stop him from playing by effects, that would also slow him down. But I don't think there's any consistent way to access that in Beelzemon either. So it was just kind of, I had to hope that either he bricked really hard, which I don't even know if that deck can brick because you just hard play level 4s anyway, or I had to get a godly hand to even have a chance, because I basically had to kill him before he got something on the board that could stop me, which is pretty much impossible because he could just hard play a level 5, and even if he gave me a ton of memory, I wouldn't be able to do anything because he'd get a blanket effect that gave me security minus, so I wouldn't be able to make an aggressive play, and then he would have a level 5 on the board. It was unfortunate, but the match felt kind of hopeless from the Beelzemon side of things.
Yeah. Because, like you said, it's just you have to turbo
Yep.
and crush him before.
You have to hope that your opening hand is exactly what you need to get immediately into a level 6 and start taking chunks out of security. Because if you don't have it, then he's just going to set up and you're never going to be able to outpace him.
You heard it here first. Platinum Numa wins regionals. No.
I do think that the deck is a good, solid deck, but
I mean,
there's definitely ways to shut it down. But Beelzemon doesn't have access to those tools, not consistently, at least.
I was talking about that Eggman tournament, and Numamon was 4 of the top 16, so he's doing things.
I'm not surprised. Like I said, the deck seems strong. It's very difficult to stop it from doing what it's going to do.
Listen, Russ Terriermon ain't scared of no negative security. We just trashing security. We ain't got to tag it. We just trash it.
Well, you see, Beelzemon can also trash security. But the issue is that in order to trash a lot of security, your whole deck has to be in your trash to do that. So
Yeah.
you have
You
a
have to
very
get rid of,
limited
like,
window
30
there.
cards.
You have a very limited window there where you can really do anything, and you got to pray that you hit it all at the same time.
So boogers and bears is the way to go.
I won't say it's the way to go. I'm just saying, seems like a fun deck that's doing well.
All I'm saying is, if I was playing Black or Greymon, that would have been a very different match because I could stop his shenanigans all around. The advantage of a toolbox deck, I guess, versus a one-dimensional deck.
That's facts.
And Greymon has definitely became a toolbox. For sure.
Especially his black base. Gosh.
You're just frustrated because you've played me too many times.
Yeah. Red base doesn't have as many tools at the lower end as it does at the upper end.
Yeah, because the more recent War Greymons are just cracked. They're all incredibly good for different reasons.
I mean, I can think for the most part, I could run several of them and be like, oh, that's nice to see. Oh, that's also nice to see.
Yeah, you draw out a card, and if it says War Greymon in the name, you're usually happy to see it.
Yeah. Speaking of happy to see, I think this is a good segue into the product release lineup. Or better yet known as unification for the Digimon card game.
Yeah. The hype is real. It's going to be a stressful year of product releases for English version, but
Yeah. Well, really just the crunch from August. Basically, August to January is going to be like, ah. Like,
yeah.
oh God, I got to stop.
Well, I think the special booster releases, and I can't remember what it said that they were going to be doing exactly on that.
It's going to be the biggest set. So, our special booster is going to be 18 and 19. And then we're going to get the rest. I think it's going to be 19 and 20 and 2.5.
That's what I was thinking. 18 and 19,
So,
and then the other
then
half
yeah, it's going to
19
be
and 20.
in
gonna be
February.
big sets. Big sets. Well, let's just talk about it. So we just had Double Typhoon released. April, nothing. May, we have BT16.
After the North Carolina Regional.
Mm-hmm. Then we
The
have
regional
EXOs.
is the 11th,
What?
or no, the
Yeah.
regional is
The regional is pre-release weekend.
okay. And then the
So-
following week, the set releases fully.
So those stores better stock up.
What do you mean? You think you're gonna have money to spend on cardboard after a regional? Pfft.
You go to the pre-release at the regional. You lose at the regional, and then you go to the pre-release that night.
If there is one. Is that our
That's
game
true.
plan? If we scrub out, we're going to a pre-release.
We're just gonna find some local place to go to a pre-release.
Either that, or we're going to be playing Digimon in a strip club. One of the two.
Whoa! I have no ones, but I've got this $40 alt art War Greymon. There you go,
All right,
baby.
but okay, so BT16 in May.
Yeah, June is the EXO6, which nothing crazy there. That's how we normally do it.
That's typical EX release.
Then we have nothing in July. August is BT17. September is EXO7, starter deck 18 and 19. Then nothing in so that's going to be quite a bit. Like it's going to be, oh god, like 17 EXO7. So
and then September, EXO7 and the structure decks are all Liberator.
yes.
So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And then we got nothing in October, special booster. I'm just saying it's really fast is what I was trying to get the point across, whereas in Japan, it's April, they get the starter decks, 18 and 19. EXO7 in May, BT18 in June. Then they have 3 months of that. BT19, 2 months. And then in November, they get EXO8. And then they get in January, BT20. And then they don't get it until April. So theirs is going to be larger, that 3-month span where most of us here in the English meta get ADD and don't like the format anymore.
Yep. They're going to be stuck in that for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then we'll have unification.
Yep, April's the goal. Gonna be cool. It's gonna be a very impactful year for us, and I think a lot of. Sadly, we're not gonna be able to please everybody, and I think there will be, the squeaky wheels will definitely scream out over the next year.
Oh, yeah. There'll be complaints from both ends of too much product, and I can't even finish building this deck before the next thing comes out.
I think we've just settled. We've just settled into where we don't, I play every other weekend, and you play once every.
Once a month, maybe.
Yeah, once a month, maybe. Tiny isn't. He just has his decks. He just builds. You're working on your 4th and 5th deck, aren't you, Tiny?
Something like that, yeah.
You gotta
Which
figure
is-
out what you're
which is
taking
fine.
for this regional. Honestly, that's the best way to play.
Yep. I think
But
we
you
should
gotta
keep
figure
that
out.
in our pocket while we're taking the regionals.
Oh, dude,
Keep that close.
I'm gonna
to
dye
our
my
chest.
hair green and red.
We don't know what you're taking.
I'm gonna roll up looking like a pro tag.
Does that mean I have to wear my goggles?
Well, you can.
Like if you're gonna pull off the look of a pro tag, you have to be wearing at least 3 belts. Your hair needs to be at least 2 different colors, and it can't be any normal colors. And you have to have goggles.
I'm not a gargoyle though. I'm like, I'll wear gloves like Matt.
Whoa. You calm down. Gotta wear a beanie then. Technically, you're not giving pro tag vibes then.
That's true.
You're just one of the amazing blue guys that always gets beat by the orange or red guy.
You're giving off rival vibes.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've also, well, I was going to talk about some other releases that's not, in the main lineup. April 2024, you guys can go to DigimonCardGame.com products and see this. We're getting some new sleeves, 4 new sleeve packs. There's going to look like some Lilithmon sleeves, Agumon on the Digivice, some new Digitama sleeves there. We are getting the Adventure Box 03, which will have the movie tamer or the movie cards in it, the movie promos in it. So yeah, that's in May.
Need that Ukamon.
Mm-hmm. And they're cool because these are all like blue colored. So like the Vmons have the cool digital blue background. They're all blue. Same way with the tamers. I don't actually know what all they're going to release. I know in the picture we have a Vmon, and I know I've seen the Davis. And I think that's actually it for stuff we're going to get. I thought there was going to be more, but there's not. Everything else is done released or done planned release, or it's closed through Premium Bandai. So we haven't had any new announcements. Speaking of regionals, worlds, all that. I know we're not out of the season yet. We just started into this, but hopefully within the next couple weeks, at least by the end of this month, shouldn't we start hearing about, because this is March to May, we should start hearing about June to August? Shouldn't we? Hopefully. Hopefully,
They should be
because,
announcing it soon.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Usually it's like 2 to 3 months in advance. I really want to see some more in-persons.
Especially on the East Coast.
God, don't let anybody that lives in LA hear you say that. They'll roast you. We'll start talking about how bad your state is and how crappy your town is and everything else.
Is that a thing that happened?
Oh, yeah. That was a thing that happened. Everybody starts being all elitist. I'm like, brother, never said Knoxville was the most amazing town in the world, but we never said North Carolina was the best state to ever exist. We're just saying, hey, we're happy. LA, yeah, 15 hours away. Sounds great.
Yeah, no thanks. We said we wanted East Coast events. I don't think Los Angeles is anywhere near the East Coast. You can keep your events. We'll have ours.
They have
Yeah, don't
had
be
the
flying
majority
out
of
here.
well, they've had the majority of major events.
I was gonna say, didn't Worlds happen over there?
Yep. 2 years running.
I'm telling you, man, the internet can be one of the most toxic places in the world. Like I said, most of us normal people, most of us, don't get me wrong, I rage. You guys have heard me rage on the podcast. You guys hear it all the time. I just don't bother to put it on social media half the time. But a lot of people do. And a lot of people take it very much into aggressive mode. Very spiteful people out there. Like, I fussed about not having events, but I just don't want it to be. I don't care that it's in LA for them. Thank you. Congratulations. You guys have fun. I just wanted more events, and I wanted some closer to me. I wasn't being like, God, LA, trash city, terrible place. Hope they fall in the ocean. Like some of these comments I'm reading online, and I'm like, good God, guys. We just need more events, period.
Hey, you get people together. It's time.
I mean, heaven forbid, I can only imagine if it was in Knoxville. They'd be like, what are you just spewing just garbage out of their mouth.
Come on over to Knox Vegas.
Yeah.
Just don't
Look,
go to the east side.
all I'm saying is there are a lot worse places that it could be than Knoxville. Okay,
Oh,
we
yeah,
we
for
know
sure.
we know a few places. Some of us have
Yeah.
lived in a few places that are far worse than Knoxville. So
100%. 100%. I've lived in some places after living there. I'm like, you know what? That was probably the quietest I ever lived and the most secluded I tried to ever live. I was flying under the radar.
look, the nicest place that I ever lived was beside a cemetery. You know why? Because nobody bothers you when you live next to a cemetery. It is peaceful. It is quiet. You got nothing to worry about. Unless you're superstitious, but obviously, if you're superstitious, you're not going to live by a
I was
graveyard.
about to say, you are definitely moving away from that. You are not living by that.
I was glad for the time that I lived there, because, like I said, nobody bothered you. You don't get door-to-door salesmen. You don't get any type of religious folk coming to your door asking you to come to their church, which is very common in this area, I might add. But when you
Yeah.
live next to a graveyard, for some reason they just don't do that. So yeah, that's a little life hack. If you ever want peace of mind and people to leave you alone, live next to a graveyard. Only exception being people you owe money. People you owe money will come to you regardless of where you're at.
Yeah. Facts. So yeah, we just we have literally drugged that horse around dead for a long time. We beat it to death. We just need more
We
events.
got
Period.
we got horse burgers now.
Yep. What else was we going to talk about?
I don't know if there was anything else. I think we hit everything.
I did finish the Digimon web novel. It was really good. Left me on a cliffhanger. Kind of upset.
That's how they get you.
I know. I was like, I need more of this. What's going on? We're getting a lot of cards for it. Like, I was really excited to see the Pulsemon stuff. See, that's another thing. So I had no interest. So guys, this is going back to, you need to absorb this media. I had no interest. I thought Pulsemon was always been cool and stuff. Kazuchimon, cool Digimon, cool guy, liked him. But now that I've read that, I'm like, man, now I want to use this tamer. I want to see all of his cool stuff because, like I said, I got attached to him through the web novel, and now I want it. I want more of him. I'm attached to those characters, I'm attached to Tomonori and Dex Duro even more. All these characters, I'm like, oh yeah. Gave them another layer. The mind link thing gave me a love for AG and Lugermon. The mind link, because I didn't know what that was, and if you don't read the novel, you don't know. And then when you do, you're like, oh, that's kind of bad. That's kind of awesome. Like that's cool that it gives you those perks with for you and for your Digimon and vice versa. Really neat. But yeah, but now I need more of it. I need more. Mimi Terriermon.
Dude, Collision's gonna be good.
Yeah, collision's gonna be very neat. The new mechanic, I think it's gonna be awesome. Kmart Alphamon is coming out of retirement for sure. For sure.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Collision does. We all know that the Machinedramon boys are already getting gassed up.
Plus, they're just neat cards in general. I mean, it's they worked that in real well.
I agree. And what better line to initiate the collision mechanic than a train?
Oh,
That's facts.
speaking of new cards, this is the card that came out with the DigiFest. The VPET is Possibilities to the Future, promo 156. It's while you have a tamer, you may ignore this card's color requirements. It's white. Main, choose one tamer. You may play one Digimon card with the same color as that tamer and with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand, or trash without paying its cost. Security, you may play one tamer card from your hand without paying the cost. Add this card to your hand. Neat. Neato.
Why did you ask now?
Huh. You can't. They're already gone, sadly.
I was gonna say, I think they're out of stock already.
Yep. Oh, and it's cool. We get the training cards again in the starter decks. So and they're really nice artworks. Super cool artworks for the trainers.
When do those starter decks come out?
August. It's late. It's late when they come out.
It's looking like September.
September, yeah.
September.
So
oh gosh, I was debating on if I was gonna wait for the starter decks to come out to finish my play sets of the trainings, but I don't know if I can wait that long. Those trainings are kind of important.
yeah. Well, they're in the same way that memory boosts are.
Yeah,
It's just
they're staples. So many decks just run at least 3 of them. Some decks run 4.
and
Personally,
sadly
I think
this
the
won't
fact that
bring
they
up the
can,
price.
yeah, it won't reduce the price very much. I don't think.
These will probably be cheaper than the original ones.
That's true. They probably will be because they'll be cheaper to get. Because in order to get them before, you had to buy a box of BT14.
Mm-hmm.
But just
And
happened to
these,
buy a starter deck, which is probably going to
yeah,
be $15 a piece.
yeah. But you're going to need at
Well,
least 2 of.
I don't know. I mean, do we know if these starter decks are going to be good at this point? I don't think they've revealed a whole lot about them.
Whoa!
Nope.
You calm down. I buy every starter deck,
I do too, but that's not the point.
and to be fair, like until memory boost started becoming more of a niche for certain types of decks, I'm getting sick of looking at the Justimon and freaking. I'm sick of looking at those decks. They've been sitting in my Walmart. There has been. Listen, guys, if you all want to Venmo me, and you for some odd reason want the original memory boost, if you didn't get any of RBL1 or whatever, I've got. I think it's literally like 16 of each of those decks. The Mastimon, the Justimon, the Old Force, they're just sitting there. Been sitting on my Walmart shelf.
Justimon, you mean Gallantmon?
Yeah, Gallantmon, sorry. Yeah, Gallantmon. For ages. Ages. They've got dust on them. Legitimately have dust on them. Oh, this is something I would like to say that I am very proud that I was correct on one major thing. If you'll go back 30 episodes, Bandai's doing Bandai things, just like they did with Dragon Ball Super. They are officially making old archetypes relevant again. Period. Whether it be by more support, newer cards, like now we've got hybrids for both, not just red hybrid. We have Pulsemon stuff. We've had Leomon stuff. We got Cherubimon stuff. So they are 100% sticking to that.
Galactimon One Worlds and Liberator, they're supporting it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were worried because we talked about that when we've talked about the Burbs deck and all that. That lots of times there's always that one deck that is in a EX set. EX sets, they're still bad. You don't get a lot of archetype support. Grace Nova is getting some, but most of the time they're just stuck. So that's why I'm hoping with this Liberator comic, Galactimon will get some stuff, because I still think that deck's really cool on how it works. Eosmon is getting support, so lots of times the EX don't get a lot of support. Like, I'm still hoping that dragons get support, and my 2 alt art, what's the tamer for the earth, fire, wind, water dragons, or what, steel dragons, whatever they are. What was her name?
Hina?
Yeah, I've got 2 alt arts of her just sitting there because I never used her. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
The day is coming, but it's not today.
It's not for the next year. I don't know. I think we're in a good spot. I really do. I feel like we're cruising right along. We're fixing to start our 20th set, and we're either beefing up old archetypes, and not every archetype. I get it, guys. Not every archetype's getting, any meat to the potatoes. It's just a lot of stuff is. Give it some time. A lot of new archetypes are. I mean, I never thought I would see a Lucamon deck, but we're going to have one for sure. Guess I'm going to do some market manipulation myself here. That's why you should always buy, if you can afford it, premium Bandai stuff. Because when premium Bandai stuff comes out, you're like, oh my god. Like when this whole, the beginning set came out, I was like, well, why do I want any of that stuff? Blah, 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 blah. And then, then the movie launched and everything. And it's like, oh, I really should have bought that, because those are some cool alt arts of all those cards. Because it just released just now. You ordered it in November. You'll get it in June. Yes. So I see you're sitting here thinking, oh, why did I order that? But it's going to be, right around the BT16 hype. But I think that's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
Well, all right then. This has been another episode of the Security Check Digimon TCG podcast. We appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next time. Stay safe and have a good one.
And keep slinging that cardboard.